Good morning, everyone. I'm Yuanchun, and this is my colleague, Shuang. We are both engineers on the Shanghai OpenSearch team. Today, we want to talk about something we have been building, running Python natively inside OpenSearch. We'll show you why we think it's needed, how it works, and how it works under the hood, and where we think it can go from here. But first, a brief introduction to our team. Our team builds both software and machine learning solutions on OpenSearch. This project is a collaboration between we two and many from the Shanghai OpenSearch team. So let's jump into the problem we are trying to solve. If you've written custom scripts in OpenSearch, you've probably used Painless. It's a default scripting language designed to be fast and safe. But in practice, Painless is painful. It looks like Java, but it's not Java. It's a restrictive subset with a strict allow list of methods. Common operations you'd expect, like splitting a string or regex, are either missing or require cluster-level settings to enable. Its syntax has subtle difference from Java, so your existing knowledge only partially transfers. And the debugging is frustrating. The error message is vague, and there's no repo, no breakpoints. And the documentation is sparse, with limited examples, so most developers resort to trial and error. And on top of that, there's no ecosystem, there's no libraries, no imports, and no HTTP calls. If the analysis does not have what you need, you are stuck. So we ask ourselves, what if we can just use Python? Look at this comparison. We want to extract an error code from the log message. To the left is Painless. It's doing index of manual string boundaries and substring, 6 lines of fragile string manipulation. But if you can use Python, you just need to import array, doing a search, group, then done. And this is just the beginning. Python gives you the full library. You can use including third-party libraries. And the syntax is what most developers are already written every day. So no context switch and no new languages to learn. So we built a Python language plugin for OpenSearch. Anywhere you normally write Painless, you can now write Python. For example, during indexing, searching, scoring, and script fields. And you can use standard libraries, not only array, but also math, JSON, connections, and more. And we also bundled NumPy for the proof of concept for third-party libraries. All right, now enough talking. I want to let my colleague Shuang show you how it works in action.
Okay, thanks, Yuanchun. I will run 3 demos to show what we can do with our Python plugin. The first one is about using Python standard library to analyze log data. So this is the DevTools of OpenSearch dashboard. On the left side is the query editor, and on the right side, we'll see the response returned by OpenSearch. So I have created an index of flog. So please wait a second. So you can see that some important information, like IP address and error code, are hidden inside the message test. So we can use the regex module of Python to extract it at query time. You can see that we successfully returned those fields in separate fields. And for the second case, we can use JSON module to parse the string format. And you can see that the result is here. And then for Painless, we does not have a JSON parser. So we need to handle the parsing manually if we choose to use Painless. But in Python, it's just 1 line. Second demo is about e-commerce ranking with NumPy. Imagine we have some user ratings of products and we need to decide the order to show them. So there is an index with 5 headphone products. Each one has a rating array with individual review scores. So we can first use a simple average rating. We just compute the simple average of the ratings, and let's calculate the scores. You can see that the first product with only one 5-star rating and the second product with multiple 5-star ratings are both in the first place, but definitely the second one has more confidence. So we need a smarter score with NumPy. So let's first check that NumPy is available in our plugin. Now we use some NumPy functions to do the score. And we use the NumPy means, STD, and log2 to compute a confidence-weighted score. Now we can see the results. You can see that the product with multiple ratings of 5 stars now ranked first. It makes more sense. So the second demo is to show that we can use powerful third-party libraries with our plugin. So let's see the demo 3. The demo 3 is to show that our Python plugin can connect OpenSearch to external AI services. Imagine a customer support team wants AI-suggested replies when they search for open tickets. Traditionally, this means building a separate AI service and write results back into the index. But with Python scripts, we can do this at query time instead. So I have created an index with 3 sample tickets here. The first one is about the reset password issue, and the second one is about duplicate billing charge, and the third one is about a feature request for dark mode. Now let's write a script for LLM calls. You can see that the title and the description of the ticket is used to build a prompt, and we will call the GPT model to reply in 2 or 3 sentences. Let's do the model call. So we do the call in real time. It will take a few seconds. So you can see that each ticket now has a suggested reply. For the first password reset issue, the user gets troubleshooting steps, and the billing tickets get a refund confirmation. And the third one, the feature request is forwarded to the dev team. These are all generated at query time. So this is also something Painless could not do. Painless does not allow outbound HTTP calls. With Python, we can reach any external API without any extra setup. So that's a quick look of what our Python plugin can do. Now I will pass it back to Yuanchun, and he will talk about how the plugin works internally.
Thank you, Li Shuang. So you've seen what it does. Let me explain you how it works. So when a Python script comes in, it goes through 3 stages. First, we pass it with a Python AST written in enter4. This catches syntax errors early. Then it goes through a static semantic analyzer. This is meaningful safety check. Currently, it mainly looks for infinite loops. And finally, the Python is run within a GraalVM polyglot context. The key point is Python runs inside JVM. There's no external subprocess, no network core to your Python runtime, and your data is passed directly from Java to Python. No serialization overhead. And so, GraalVM is what makes this possible. Its polyglot API lets you run multiple languages inside the same JVM. As you can see from the diagram, the GraalPy context lives directly inside JVM, right alongside OpenSearch. The document fields, query parameters, and execution contexts are directly passed to GraalPy context as bindings. Then the Python script is evaluated inside the GraalVM context. The results are returned back out in the same way. Because GraalPy is GraalVM's Python implementation, the full language and the standard libraries are supported. Now, running user code inside your search engine, that raises some obvious questions. For example, what if a user writes an infinite loop? Well, we have a static analyzer that catches obvious patterns like while true with no break. If for trickier cases that pass out this static check, we also have a hard timeout that kills the executions if they don't finish in time. Then, what if a script simply consumes too many resources? GraalVM supports per context limits, like memory caps and statement limits. Also, a fresh GraalVM context is used per call and disposed right after, so nothing accumulates. And then, what if a script tries to steal your credentials? Well, the script only says bindings that you explicitly passed in, like document fields and query parameters. And there's no cross-execution state, so nothing will leak from execution to execution. So far, we have mentioned sandbox for multiple times. GraalVM provides this built-in sandbox mechanism. It establishes a security boundary between the host and the guest code. The sandbox policies ranges from trusted to untrusted. They control host I/O, native access, and resource limits progressively. We use trusted for now for the compatibility with NumPy. Well, you've now seen Python used in scoring and script fields in the demos, but actually, we can use it in more scenarios. For example, you can use it during indexing to transform documents, during search to modify requests, and during scoring to customize ranking and relevance, and in script fields to compute values at query time. These are what OpenSearch calls script contexts. They control when and where the script is run, what data is exposed to the script, and what's expected to return from the script. Each context exposes exactly the data that the script needs, nothing more. Currently, we support 5 contexts, with more on the way. Then let me be honest about the challenges. The first one is security. Currently, we use trusted for the compatibility with NumPy. But also, this trusted is the only sandbox policy that's available under the community edition of GraalVM. So this means this plugin is now appropriate for controlled environment and not for the wild production. And as to the library support, currently the full Python library is the full Python standard library is supported. We also bundle NumPy. But if you want to use other third-party libraries, it requires you to add them into the build config and rebuild the plugin. And as to the performance, I want to dig deeper in the next slide. So here are some early benchmark numbers. As you can see from the table, Python is on average 1.4 to 2 times slower than its Painless counterpart. But for me, this gap is manageable. It's not like 10 times or 100 times. And for scenarios where you need like JSON parsing, regex, NumPy, or HTTP calls, this Python just gives you the capability that Painless does not have. So I think it's worth this gap. But if you ever wonder why is Python slower than Painless, let's get a closer look. Painless is compiled directly into GraalVM bytecode. It's optimized from the start. In comparison, GraalVM does this in an interpretation way. The Python code is interpreted via AST working and dispatching, and just-in-time compiler needs over 400 calls to kick in. So this means short-lived scripts will never reach it. And on top of that, creating a fresh GraalVM context per execution also brings overhead. In the future, we plan to improve this via engine sharing, context pooling, and source caching. Looking ahead, performance optimization is our top priority. Besides, we also want to improve security and offer configurable security policies so users can choose based on their trade-offs. And we also want to support more context scripts, including aggregation, similarity, and more. But most importantly, we want to hear from you. What will you use this plugin for? That feedback will shape the future of this. This plugin is open sourced. You can build it and install it like any other OpenSearch plugin. Then run your first Python script in 2 minutes. We'd love for you to try it out, file issues, and tell us what works and what doesn't. All right, that's all from us. Thank you for listening. We're happy to take questions. Yes, please. Actually, it's open source on GitHub, and we have some team members from other teams of AWS that want to try it, but up till now they haven't tell me like how do they feel about it actually.
Over the last mile of release, do you think now the plugin is ready for take all the concerns about the security? So is that safe enough for production use?
Yes, I think there are some trade-offs. If you want like ultra security, we have to like turn off the host IO and to turn off like the network for obviously. And in that scenario, I think it's safe enough because it has this sandbox policies and as I have already said, the script only sees what you explicitly passed in. And in that case, I think it's safe enough for most use cases.
The resource access pattern security, or we say policies, are just one part of the security concerns. The others is about the resource and natural, we say built-in resource consumption, which means if I create in Python with 1 billion elements array, that will also crash the machine. So do we have any features around that?
Actually, this is a bit tricky. So as I have mentioned, GraalVM offers some features like per context limits. It offers like a memory cap. So if the script overflows some memories, it will get killed. But this feature is kind of limited. So I mean, like it's only available in the Oracle GraalVM, the Enterprise Edition.
So yeah, I think this is really pretty nice repository for a large space for improvement, but we need to look into the mirroring sandbox execution environment. As I already observed, the GraalVM is still experimental. So yeah, how to make it more mature and for production use is what we are looking for, right?
Yes, yes, it is. Thank you for the questions. Well, do you still have any other questions or concerns? Yeah, I think then that's all. Thank you for listening.